Welcome back, deep divers. Today we're diving headfirst into the magical world of Disney.
Oh, Disney.
Yeah, specifically their financials. We've got some exciting news, insights, and maybe even a few predictions about where the House of Mouse is headed. Our source.
A recent article from Reuters that really breaks down their latest earnings report.
And let me tell you, the numbers paint a pretty optimistic picture.
They really do.
I mean, think back to that stock surge over 10%, hitting a 6-month high right after the earnings report dropped. What's going on there?
It's more than just good vibes, that's for sure.
Right. So what's fueling this surge of optimism?
Well, for starters, Disney absolutely crushed Wall Street's expectations for their fiscal fourth quarter.
Okay, give us the details. What were the numbers?
Adjusted earnings per share. A cool $1.14,
Not bad.
especially when estimates were only around $1.10.
So they beat expectations. I like it.
And revenue. They pulled in a whopping $22.6 billion.
Serious?
Seriously, way past the projected $22.45 billion.
Okay, those are some solid wins right there. But is there more to the story than just a good quarter?
Oh, absolutely. This isn't just a fleeting moment of success. Disney did something pretty unusual. They offered long-term guidance.
Long term, like how long we're talking?
Projections all the way through 2027. That's not something you see every day.
Wow, they must be feeling pretty confident. So what are they projecting?
For fiscal 2025, they're forecasting high single-digit adjusted EPS growth.
High single digits, got it.
And hold on to your hats, because for 2026 and 2027, they're predicting double-digit EPS growth.
Double digit, that's huge.
It is. And this level of confidence stems directly from their strategic investments.
Makes sense. Where are they putting their money?
Well, their theme parks, of course, always a powerhouse.
Oh yeah, gotta love those.
Then there's the expansion of their cruise ship fleet. More ways to experience that Disney magic.
Very clever. And of course, no one can ignore the elephant, or should I say, mouse in the room. Exactly, their streaming services. That's got to be a huge part of their growth strategy.
Absolutely.
Speaking of strategy, let's rewind a bit. Remember late 2022 when Bob Iger made his grand return as CEO? I mean, talk about a plot twist.
Yeah, no one saw that coming.
He came in swinging too, right?
Yeah,
Implemented some serious cost-cutting measures, and let's face it, film and television production needed a bit of a revitalization.
definitely.
Do you think Iger's return is a major factor in this current wave of success?
Without a doubt, his leadership has played a role. Things seem to be back on track, and you can feel that optimism radiating out for the years ahead. But it's not just about cutting costs.
Right. Disney's always been about the stories, the characters, the magic.
Content is king.
And they've had some major content wins recently, proof that they still have that magic touch.
Absolutely.
Hmm?
Take Deadpool and Wolverine, for example. Their first foray into R-rated Marvel territory.
A bold move. Did it pay off?
Big time. Raked in a global box office total of $1.3 billion.
Wow. I guess sometimes you got to take risks to reap the rewards.
Absolutely.
What about the Avatar franchise? It just keeps chugging along, doesn't it?
It's a testament to the power of a captivating story, the visuals, the world building, and it just keeps drawing people in.
It's true. They've managed to capture lightning in a bottle twice.
More than twice.
That's right, more than twice. And it's not just about the big screen. They're also killing it on the smaller screen with Hulu's Only Murders in the Building.
Oh yeah, that show's brilliant.
Emmy nominations, critical acclaim. It shows they're not just a one-trick pony.
Exactly.
They're diverse, they're creative, they can tell different kinds of stories across different platforms.
And it's not just about the awards or the box office numbers.
It's about the bigger picture.
Exactly. These successes showcase Disney's ability to leverage its content across multiple revenue streams.
So it's like a ripple effect. A hit movie leads to more streaming viewers, licensing opportunities.
They've got a smart, integrated approach, that's for sure.
And speaking of streaming, let's talk about how they're making waves in that world. For the second quarter in a row, their streaming services, Disney Plus, Hulu, and ESPN Plus, they've all achieved profitability.
That's a major accomplishment.
Especially in the cutthroat world of streaming.
It's a tough market out there.
It really is. So what's the secret sauce? What are they doing right?
Well, they've got the content, that's for sure.
Of course.
But they're also making smart moves to attract and retain subscribers. Look at the growth of Disney Plus alone. Millions of new subscribers outside of India, bringing their total to over 122.7 million. That's global appeal right there.
That's a whole lot of mouse ears around the world.
Exactly.
So they're doing well with streaming, but they're about to shake things up even more.
Oh, you mean with the ESPN integration into Disney Plus, right?
That's the one. Launching December 4th, it's a bold move, to say the least. Live sports, expert commentary, and whispers of new features like sports betting. Is this the future of sports viewing?
I think it could be. This integration recognizes a huge shift in how we consume sports. Streaming is becoming the go-to platform.
It's all about convenience, right?
Convenience, yeah. But it's also about a richer, more immersive experience.
What do you mean?
Think about it. Personalized sports feeds, driven by AI, giving you updates on your favorite teams and players, live commentary tailored to your preferences.
Wow, that sounds pretty futuristic.
And it's all happening.
So Disney's leading the charge.
They're definitely at the forefront. This ESPN integration could be a revolutionary moment. But it does make you wonder about the future of ESPN as a standalone network.
Right. Will cable subscribers stick around when they can access so much on Disney Plus Seat?
It's a valid question. Disney's got to find a way to balance those two worlds. Maybe exclusive content on cable, certain features that you can't get through streaming?
So keep those cable subscribers happy while also pulling in those streaming fans.
Exactly. It'll be interesting to see how they navigate this transition. It's a tightrope walk for sure.
A tightrope walk with very high stakes. So we've got Disney riding high with their financial performance, their content is king, and they're making bold moves in the streaming world. But we've got to be real, no company's perfect. What are some of the challenges they're facing right now?
Well, their traditional television networks, for instance, they've seen a decline in operating income.
Really?
Yeah.
Is that just a Disney problem or is it a sign of the times?
I think it's part of a larger trend.
The streaming takeover.
Exactly. The way people watch TV is changing, and it's impacting the entire industry.
So Disney's not alone in this.
Not at all.
Okay, so traditional TV is taking a hit. What else?
Their international parks have also hit a bit of a snag.
Really? Those are usually such a reliable source of income.
They are, but operating income has dipped a bit.
Why is that?
A few factors, really. The cost of launching those shiny new attractions, for one.
Makes sense. You got to spend money to make money.
Right. And there was also increased competition, like the Olympics in Paris. That drew some attention away.
Ah, I didn't think about that.
And then there's ESPN.
Uh-oh, what's up with ESPN?
Higher programming and production costs, particularly for those college football broadcasts, have impacted their bottom line.
I see. So even with a strong overall performance, there are always those little fires to put out.
Exactly. It's a constant balancing act for a company like Disney.
It sounds like it. So traditional TV and international parks are facing some headwinds, but is there any good news?
Oh, absolutely. Their domestic operations are thriving. They reported a 6% growth in domestic operating income for the full year,
That's impressive.
driven by a significant jump in ad revenue.
So they're finding ways to adapt and succeed in a rapidly changing media landscape.
Exactly.
Now, here's a curveball. While everyone else seems to be on a merger and acquisition spree, Disney's taking a different approach.
That's right. CEO Bob Iger has made it clear they're not actively seeking out any further acquisitions.
Wow, that's a bold statement in this climate.
It is, especially considering the success of their past acquisitions. Remember the 2019 acquisition of 21st Century Fox?
Oh, yeah, that was a game changer.
It brought them valuable assets, like the Avatar franchise, Hulu, and a treasure trove of content that contributed to their record-breaking Emmy Award wins.
So why not keep buying up the competition?
Well, Iger believes they already have all the tools they need to succeed in this disruptive media world, as he called it.
So instead of following the crowd, they're focusing on their strengths.
Exactly.
And those strengths seem to be working pretty well for them.
They are. Now, here's another interesting tidbit. Unlike Comcast, which is thinking about selling off its television assets, Disney is holding on to theirs.
So they're bucking the trend again?
It seems so. CFO Hugh Johnston explained that their financial analysis simply doesn't support a sale right now.
Interesting. It's like they're playing a different game.
It's a long game, that's for sure. A carefully calculated strategy based on achieving their ambitious goals.
I like it. So we've established that Disney's content is strong, their streaming strategy is working, and they're not afraid to make bold moves. But let's dive a little deeper into their entertainment division, the heart of it all. Film, television, and streaming.
Their operating income more than doubled last quarter, reaching $1.1 billion.
Whoa, that's a serious jump.
It is.
What's driving those numbers?
Well, the return of popular shows like Only Murders in the Building on Hulu is definitely a factor.
Makes sense. People love that show.
They do. And then there are the box office successes we talked about, Deadpool and Wolverine, and the latest Alien film, Alien, Romulus.
It's all connected.
Exactly. It highlights the beautiful synergy of Disney's entertainment empire. Success in one area fuels success in others.
It's like a well-oiled machine, all the parts working together.
A well-oiled, magical machine.
Okay, I like that. So, we've got hit shows, blockbuster movies, and a thriving streaming service. Is there anything Disney Plus isn't doing well?
Well, they're not just resting on their laurels. They're also taking steps to address password sharing, which, let's be honest, has been a bit of a problem.
I can't believe people are still doing that.
It happens. But Disney's cracking down, which could lead to even more revenue down the line.
Smart move.
It's a trend we're seeing across the streaming industry. Everyone's trying to protect their content and, well, make more money.
Makes sense. So they're tackling password sharing. What else are they doing to boost their streaming profits?
Well, the fact that Disney Plus, Hulu, and ESPN Plus combined brought in a profit of $321 million this quarter, that speaks for itself.
Wow.
They're building a profitable and sustainable business model in a really competitive market.
It's not just about spending big on content. It's about building a solid foundation for the future.
Exactly.
So we've covered the financial wins, the content triumphs, and the streaming success story. But now let's zoom in on one of Disney's most exciting, maybe even game-changing moves.
You mean the integration of ESPN into Disney Plus?
You got it. It's a bold step that could completely change how we experience sports.
It's more than just adding a tab to Disney Plus S.
So what's the big deal?
It's a full-fledged ESPN experience within the platform. Live sports, expert commentary, and potentially even interactive features powered by artificial intelligence.
Wait, AI in sports, what does that even look like?
Imagine having your ESPN feed personalized to your favorite teams and players, real-time updates, curated highlights, maybe even personalized commentary.
That sounds incredible.
It's all about creating a more immersive and personalized viewing experience.
It's the future of sports right here, right now.
Disney's positioning themselves at the forefront of this evolution.
It's exciting, but it also makes you wonder about the future of ESPN as a standalone network. Will cable subscribers jump ship when they can get so much on Disney Plus chip?
That's the big question, isn't it? Disney's walking a tightrope here.
How so?
They need to find a way to keep those cable subscribers happy while also attracting the streaming crowd. Maybe they'll offer exclusive content on cable, certain events you can only watch there.
It'll be interesting to see how they balance those two worlds.
It will.
And they've also hinted at the possibility of integrating sports betting into ESPN on Disney Plus. That's a whole other ballgame, right?
It is.
A savvy move to tap into a booming market.
And it aligns with the trend of media companies diversifying their revenue streams.
So they're not afraid to take risks and try new things.
Exactly. They're thinking ahead. They're innovating.
It's impressive. So we've talked about Disney's dominance in the digital world, but let's not forget their real-world presence.
The theme parks.
Exactly. It's not just about streaming and content. It's about those immersive experiences that keep people coming back for more.
The theme parks are a cornerstone of the Disney brand.
And they're constantly evolving.
That's what's so impressive.
New attractions, cutting-edge technology, those incredibly detailed lands based on Star Wars and Marvel.
They're committed to creating magical experiences, and people are willing to pay for that.
It's true. And they're not just investing in the parks. They're expanding their cruise line, too, adding new ships and destinations.
It's all about creating more ways for people to engage with the Disney brand, to experience that magic beyond the screen.
It's a brilliant strategy for building brand loyalty.
It really is.
But let's be honest, even the Mouse House faces challenges. We've talked about the decline of traditional television, the dips in international park performance, and the higher costs at ESPN.
You're right. It's not all sunshine and rainbows.
Are these just Disney-specific problems, or are they symptoms of a larger trend?
I think they reflect the broader changes happening across the media landscape, the rise of streaming, the fragmentation of audiences, and increased competition from tech giants like Amazon and Apple.
So it's a whole new world out there.
It is. But Disney's not just adapting, they're actively shaping this new world.
How so?
Their move with ESPN, the investments in their theme parks, their embrace of AI, it's all part of a larger strategy to stay ahead of the curve.
To remain a leader in entertainment.
Exactly.
And despite the challenges, it seems to be working. They're performing well financially, their stock is strong, and the Disney brand remains incredibly powerful.
It's a testament to their ability to evolve, to innovate, to stay relevant in a constantly changing world.
They're not just reacting to change, they're driving it. And that brings us back to the integration of ESPN into Disney Plus Fan. It's a potential turning point, not just for Disney, but for how we all consume sports content.
It's a huge gamble.
It is, especially considering ESPN's established presence and loyal fan base. But bringing that legacy and expertise to the Disney Plus platform could change the game entirely.
ESPN has always been a powerhouse in sports broadcasting, known for their live coverage, in-depth analysis, and those iconic personalities.
It's true.
And by folding it into Disney Plus X, they're essentially creating a one-stop shop for sports enthusiasts. Imagine live games, documentaries, behind-the-scenes content, all in one place.
That sounds pretty amazing. And don't forget about those personalized experiences we talked about earlier, the power of AI to curate your sports viewing experience.
Exactly. Real-time updates, curated highlights, personalized commentary. It's like having your own personal sports assistant.
It's a glimpse into the future where technology enhances and personalizes everything.
And Disney's right there on the cutting edge.
But let's be real, this integration also raises questions about the future of ESPN as a standalone network. Will those cable subscribers stick around when they can access so much on Disney Plus Internet?
That's the million-dollar question.
Yeah.
Disney's got to find a way to make it work for both audiences.
To strike that balance.
Exactly. Maybe exclusive content on cable, certain high-profile events that remain cable exclusive. It's a tricky situation, but they seem prepared to tackle it head-on.
They've also mentioned integrating sports betting into the ESPN experience on Disney Plus. That's a smart move to capitalize on a growing market and attract a whole new segment of sports fans.
Absolutely.
It shows they're not afraid to embrace new trends and find creative ways to generate revenue.
They're definitely thinking outside the box.
So they're making bold moves in the digital world, but let's not forget their real-world presence.
The theme parks.
Exactly. Those parks aren't just a major revenue source. They're a core part of the Disney brand experience.
What's impressive is how they're constantly evolving, always looking for ways to enhance the guest experience and create new attractions that push the limits of imagination.
From those immersive Star Wars and Marvel lands to the cutting-edge rides, they're always innovating.
They're not content to just rest on their laurels. They're constantly raising the bar.
It's what keeps people coming back for more. And let's not forget about their investment in the cruise line, expanding the fleet and adding new destinations.
It's like they're building an entire Disney universe that extends beyond the screen.
A brilliant strategy for brand loyalty, wouldn't you say?
Absolutely. It's a perfect example of synergy. Different parts of the empire working together to create a cohesive and immersive experience.
It's all part of a larger vision, a commitment to creating a world of magic and wonder.
And they're doing it remarkably well.
They are. But let's be realistic, even Disney isn't immune to challenges.
True. We've talked about the decline of their traditional television networks, those dips in international park performance, the higher costs at ESPN.
It makes you wonder if these are just Disney-specific problems or symptoms of a larger trend impacting the entire industry.
It's a bit of both, I think.
How so?
The challenges they're facing reflect those broader shifts in the media landscape. The rise of streaming, the fragmentation of audiences, and the increased competition from companies like Amazon and Apple.
It's a whole new ballgame out there.
It is. But Disney's not just adapting to these changes, they're actively shaping them. Their move with ESPN, the investments in their theme parks, their embrace of AI, it's all part of a strategy to stay ahead of the curve.
To maintain their position as a leader in the entertainment industry.
Exactly.
And despite the challenges, it seems to be working.
It really does. Their financials are strong, their stock is soaring, and the Disney brand remains incredibly powerful.
It's remarkable.
They're a company that knows how to evolve and innovate. That's why they're so well positioned for continued success.
They're not just reacting to change, they're driving it. And that's what makes them so fascinating to watch.
It's a fascinating evolution. They're not just reacting, they're actually driving the changes.
And that brings us right back to this ESPN and Disney Plus thing.
This integration.
Yeah.
It could be a turning point, not just for Disney, but for how we all consume sports.
It's a huge gamble, right?
It is a gamble.
Especially when you think about how big ESPN already is.
ESPN, they've always been a force, right? Live coverage, the analysis, the personalities.
It's true. It's like they're a brand in and of themselves.
And by bringing that to Disney Plus, shut. They're creating this one-stop shop for fans.
So instead of flipping between channels or apps,
You've got everything right there. Live games, documentaries, all of it.
and the personalized experiences too.
Oh yeah, imagine AI curating your feed.
So you see only the stuff you actually care about.
Real-time updates, highlights, maybe even commentary just for you.
That's wild.
It's the future of viewing, personalized, customized, and Disney's leading the way.
But what about regular ESPN? The cable subscribers.
That's the question, isn't it? What happens to them?
Will they stick around or jump ship to Disney Plus car?
Disney has to walk this tightrope very carefully.
What do you think they'll do?
Maybe exclusive content on cable to keep people there.
Like special events you can't get on streaming.
Something like that.
Yeah.
Got to give them a reason to stay.
Makes sense. And then there's this talk about sports betting on Disney Plus.
Oh yeah, that's a smart move.
Tapping into a huge market.
Attracting a whole new audience. Very clever.
It shows they're willing to adapt to stay ahead of the trends.
They are. Thinking ahead, diversifying their revenue.
Absolutely. So they're killing it digitally, but let's not forget about those theme parks.
Oh, those are crucial, a cornerstone of the brand.
And what's impressive is they're never satisfied.
Always evolving, always improving.
New attractions, new lands, always something to see.
They're committed to creating these immersive experiences.
The Star Wars and Marvel lands, amazing.
Cutting-edge technology, always pushing the boundaries.
And the cruise line, too.
More ways to experience that Disney magic, extending their reach.
It's smart. It's like a whole ecosystem.
Building brand loyalty, keeping people engaged.
But even with all that, there are challenges, right?
There are always challenges.
We talked about traditional TV declining, international parks struggling, ESPN's costs going up.
It makes you wonder, are these just Disney problems or is it everyone?
Right. Is it the industry as a whole that's facing these things?
I think it's a bit of both, honestly.
What do you mean?
Well, these challenges, they reflect bigger shifts in the media landscape, right?
Like what?
Streaming. For one, it's changing everything.
Taking over, you mean?
In a way, yeah.
And audiences are so fragmented now.
Exactly. So many options, so many platforms.
And competition's fierce, right?
It is. You've got Amazon, Apple, they're all in the game now.
So it's a tough environment for everyone.
It is, but Disney, they're not just adapting, they're shaping the future.
In what way?
Think about it. Their ESPN move, the theme park investments, the AI stuff.
It's all connected.
It's all part of a strategy to stay ahead, to lead the industry.
And they seem to be doing a good job of it.
They are. Their financials are strong. Their brand is powerful.
It's incredible. After all these years, they're still at the top of their game.
They are. They know how to evolve, to innovate, to stay relevant.
That's why we're talking about them, right?
Exactly. They're a force to be reckoned with.
It really is amazing to see how one company can have such a big impact on entertainment as a whole.
It's the power of the brand, the legacy, the storytelling, and let's be honest, the business savvy.
They know how to make money, that's for sure.
And they're not afraid to try new things, to push the boundaries.
That brings us to our final thought, something for you, our listeners, to think about.
We've talked a lot about Disney today. Their successes, their challenges, their vision for the future.
But what about your vision? What do you see for Disney down the road?
Given everything we've discussed, where do you think they're headed?
Will they keep dominating streaming? Will their theme parks become even more incredible? Will they invent some new technology that changes everything?
It's a lot to consider.
It is, but that's what makes it so exciting. Disney is a company that never sits still.
Always innovating, always evolving, always one step ahead.
And that's why we love talking about them.
Because they're a story that's still being written.
And who knows what the next chapter will hold.
Only time will tell, but I have a feeling it's going to be amazing.
Well, that about wraps up our deep dive into the world of Disney.
Hope you enjoyed the ride.
We'll be back soon with another deep dive into a topic that's shaping our world. Until then, keep exploring, keep questioning, and keep diving deep.